Hello, welcome to a tutorial about separating mixtures. Today we're going to have a look at some of the separation techniques used to separate a mixture of sand, gravel, which is like small pieces of rock, iron and salt. So the first separation technique that we can use is quite a basic one, is to use a sieve. And a sieve is basically just got holes in the bottom. So the sieve, the holes will be too small for the large pieces of gravel to fit through, but the sand, the iron, and the salt will all fall through. So we've actually removed one part of our mixture. So we can put the gravel to one side, and then we have to think now about how to separate the sand, the iron, and the salt. So stage two, we could use a magnet. Okay, we know that iron is one of those magnetic metals. So iron, nickel, cobalt. Okay, and we could use the magnet to pick up the iron. So that would remove the iron from the sand and the salt. So what we're left with now is we've got our pile of gravel. We've got our iron, which is stuck to the magnet. So we've got those separated, and we've just got a mixture now of sand and salt. So the next stage would be something called filtration. Now filtration works by it requires, that one of our mixture, one part of it is soluble in water. So if we mix the sand and the salt with water, the salt is soluble, so it will dissolve in the water. And then when we pour it through the filter paper, the actual sand that's not dissolved in the water will get trapped in the filter paper. Filter paper has tiny, tiny, tiny holes through in it that will stop large pieces of material. Anything that's dissolved in the water will go through the holes and find in the bottom. Anything that doesn't dissolve in the water will get trapped in the filter paper at the top. So now we've got our filter paper, which should trap all the sand. Okay, but now we've got a mixture again of salt and water. So we've got our filtrate at the bottom, which is the liquid that runs through the filter. And we've got our residue, which is our sand. So now what we have to think about is how to get the salt back from the water this time. And our last stage in this process would be evaporation. So if we heat that water up that contains the salt and the water have different boiling temperatures. The water will boil first, and that will turn to a gas and evaporate. So once all that water's evaporated, what we should be left with in our evaporating basin is pure salt. So that was how we separate a mixture of the gravel, the sand, the salt, and the iron. Thank you very much.